out of bed. I work for the Community Health Council of Wyandotte County, and I have been coordinating the KCK Youth Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition. So what is YSAP? So the Youth Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition actually started as an action team of the KCK Life Recovery Coalition. We started this coalition, oh my gosh, it was back in like 2017, 2018, because first we were approached by SAMHSA, and they were like, hey, there's not really a lot going on with drugs and alcohol in Wyandotte County, and we know that that's kind of a high need area. And so we had some partners together, and then that kind of disbanded. So we pulled back together the people that we thought needed to be at the table. And that became the KCK Life Recovery Coalition, and Deanne came out and helped us with some strategic planning, and that was amazing. And we created our vision and mission, and then decided to go for some funding and focus on youth, because at that point, after we had done our readiness assessment, and just even talking to the community before that, we knew that there wasn't really a lot going on in the way of prevention. There had been previously, but then those funds were lost. So we decided we wanted to focus on a couple different areas. So that was substance use disorder, and then housing, which was a passion of a couple of the different organizations involved. And then the task force would be for youth for this coalition. And voila, YSAP was formed. Yes, and here's our the KCK Life Recovery's mission statement that Deanne helped us with. It was to mobilize resources to promote healthy, holistic lifestyles among the underserved in Wyandotte County, affected by behavioral health challenges, because we knew we wanted to include not just substance use, but other things like mental health challenges, tobacco cessation, and any kind of violent behaviors, anything like that. And just a little background on Kansas City. We are very unique to the whole country, really. We right now don't have a population that's the majority population. We are very diverse. As you can see, we have like about 5% Asian, almost 22% Black, about 31% Hispanic, and 37% white. So got a lot of different folks to represent in all of our programs, and that has been a key part of the work that we've done all along, is making sure that we kept that light on whatever we were implementing. Here are our partners throughout the last 4 years. We have Thrive, which is not Thrive Allen County, but we do work with you guys a lot for other things. But Thrive, they're a violence prevention program that also works with youth. The school district, USD 500, Heartland 180, Groundwork NRG, First Call KC. They're on the Missouri side, but they've actually been working a lot on the Kansas side recently. And some of our programming was able to leverage those relationships and actually blossom them into now a key partner that is really thriving, which is amazing. And then Kids Zone, which is part of USD 500, but it's actually the after school program, Young Women on the Move, and the Unified Government Public Health Department, and Village Initiative. So our goals for this, as just like everybody else, we used our KCTC data, and so we wanted to increase KCTC participation. In 2019, it was about 36%. So we wanted to get that up to 60%. And then our goals for risk factors were, again, like so many people, the students saw that there was very little risk in harming themselves if they used marijuana. It was at about 29%, and our goal was to decrease that by 2% by the end of our term. And then 30-day marijuana use was at the baseline was 10%. And low neighborhood attachment was about 60% when we started this. And this is district level data. We initially started using county level data, but decided that some of the other counties that are part of, or not counties, cities that are part of our county might have skewed the data a little bit because they're higher income areas with more funding in their schools that have more opportunities. So we really wanted to focus on our kids in USD 500. So that is our district level data. So to increase KCTC participation, we worked with the school districts to ask them, just basically hound them to increase administration, and we had to harass a lot of principals and the school district. They have like a prevention specialist at the school district, and so she was super helpful with that because, well, not at first. So like the first couple of years were rough. Obviously, we had COVID and it was hard to get a hold of anyone, and there was a lot of turnover. Oh my gosh, even talking about this now just like makes me think about how hard it was at the beginning. But we, after a couple years, we did have someone on our side who was willing to talk and meet with us and was very excited the work that we were doing. So she helped us, and we had a little contest amongst the different schools to increase their participation. We gave them an award, and there they are with their awards. When we took pictures, it was lovely. The winners that year, we did 3 different categories. We did a middle school and a high school for increased participation, and then overall increased participation, like the biggest like effort put in, maybe even if they didn't increase the participation that much. So we had Gloria Willis, FL Schlegel, and Fairfax that won those awards. They were very excited. And then here's our video. We also used the students from our Learn to Earn program to make a video that we sent out to administration and the school board so they could advocate on behalf for themselves. Can you hear it?
A school that works for students.
More money for schools.
Oh.
Better relationship with admin.
Better friendly environment. More access to after-school activities.
To make sure the students and families get help that they need.
So that was our fun little video that we made. Okay, so then the risk factors that we focused on for our different strategies, we had 7 strategies, and the first risk factor was no risk in harming themselves if they smoked marijuana regularly. And then the second one was low neighborhood attachment. So how we did that was we created a marijuana awareness campaign using the students with Groundwork NRG, and they spent like a whole week doing research from websites that were reputable that we got from some help with Deanne, so they could pull some facts, and then they used Canva to design some images. And then we used Create Uplift to get that information out there. We did a lot of this again during COVID, so it initially didn't go as planned, but then we had some workarounds and we did it. We ended up doing social media, and that is still going right now as we speak. So that's going through our Facebook, and if you go to our Facebook page, it's posted a lot. It's great, and we have some ads out for that too. And again, that's all student created. Create Uplift did tweak some of the things a little bit, but the students did a really great job. The second strategy that we did, the school district was using Prime for Life for their students who had been in trouble or gotten caught with drugs and alcohol at school, and they weren't a huge fan of it. So we switched that to the CAS coping and support training, and we paid for training for the facilitators, and all the materials, and they really liked it because it's more of like strengths-based kind of learning coping mechanisms instead of with Prime for Life. The students felt like it labeled them as addicts or alcoholics when they really didn't feel like that's where they were at. So they've gotten a lot of positive feedback about that. However, I will say, after speaking with the school district this year, they said that the curriculum is too long and it's been really hard to keep students coming. So that's something that they may have to look at in the future. And it is a little bit expensive to train and implement. And then we helped facilitate the implementation of life skills in the school district. So First Call KC actually implements it. They have funding to do that, but they were working on trying to get into the Kansas City, Kansas public schools. And so we were able to leverage that conversation for them. We originally started out just doing the after school program, but now they're in 19 schools this year, which is really amazing. We're very pleased with that. And we were able to help pay for supplies. Strengthening we also have helped Heartland 180 to implement Strengthening Families, which is one of their after school programs. They get referrals from the court systems and from the schools and from various places. So because of us, they were able to implement more classes, and they have it now available in Spanish and English. And this past session, they had over 50 participants, which was really great. And I think at least half of those were Spanish. We did for our next set, to increase neighborhood attachment, we I don't know how familiar you guys are with the CPTED principles. So it's crime prevention through environmental design, and it looks at areas in the environment that you could potentially fix, like lights being out or overgrown plants or things in the community that make it unsafe. But also, you know, it affects all levels of crime, so drug use and violence, and just really trying to focus on keeping the kids more attached to their communities. So they went around and used the CPTED toolkit. They learned about the principles. They used the toolkit created by MOXA, which is a local organization for violence prevention. And they went around and took pictures and then created a photo voice project, which is the next strategy, and presented those to leaders in the community to try to get those things changed. So it was really cool. Here's one of the presentations that the students created. I'll just click through it quickly because it's kind of long, but these are the basic principles. And here are some pictures the student took of their community, of like examples of CPTED principles, like what's wrong with this, not wrong with the house, but like how could we improve this to reduce crime in the community. So yeah, very cool. We did that with Groundwork NRG, who was a key partner for a while, but they actually ended up getting rid of their youth component last year. So had to switch gears a little bit, but then we used that project to then do the photo voice, where they presented to leadership last year. They presented, I believe, to commissioners and then also to church leaders in the community. And then we also had the youth council. So like I said, we had the youth council with Groundwork NRG, and they did a lot of the research on the effects of marijuana on young brains and developed the education campaign, which they decided was going to be 25 and below, just say no kind of thing, because as marijuana becomes more acceptable in our community and surrounding communities like Missouri, you know, now we have recreational legalized, and a lot of these kids' parents probably smoke marijuana. We decided to treat it more like alcohol. So like, yes, it's, you know, a lot of people do it, but wait, because it can damage your brain if you're going to do it. So that was kind of our way of looking at it. And there are some of the kids. And so our outcomes with the KCTC data, this is from 2022. Our participation was very low for 2023. So this is what we went by. And so in 2022, it was up to 43%. We didn't hit our goal of 60%, but it was going up. And I like to thank the school district for that, because Tracy Chauvin worked really, really hard on that. The risk of harming themselves if they smoked marijuana did go down, but not as far down as we had wanted it to go down. And 30-day marijuana use actually was cut in half, which was really cool to see. And then neighborhood attachment actually ended up getting worse. So I'm not sure what that means, but need to continue looking into that as the coalition progresses. And that was our last 4 years, basically. It's been a really great learning experience these last 4 years working with community partners, because our coalition looks completely different than it did in the beginning, which I think is a good thing, because I feel like we really have the right people on board.